Today we're going to talk about Pre-Instructional Assessment by Group 2. What is Pre-Instructional Assessment? This is the use of assessment to gather information on student prior knowledge. It helps the teacher gain an understanding of the skills and capacities of the student. This is the what students know part of a KWL chart. There are two main types of pre-instructional assessments, formal and informal. Formal is administered to all students in similar conditions. Informal is a quick and easy way to assess student knowledge before or during instruction. Formal assessments have some downfalls. They can cause invalid or misleading results and can increase student anxiety. Informal pre-assessments have many perks. They provide immediate feedback to the teacher. Informal pre-assessments help raise the effective filter of the CLD student, which lowers anxiety. Since these assessments are informal, they are authentic within the student's learning experience. Pre-assessments help the teacher differentiate lessons. They provide information to group students into appropriate fluid groupings. This ensures that students can be challenged within their zone of proximal development. There are several ways teachers can use pre-instructional assessment. They can be given at the beginning of class. The teacher will score the assessment quickly and group students. They can be given as an exit ticket as students leave. They can be informal or formal, and they can be used as a quick process to create groups. There are several ways that teachers can give formal and informal pre-instructional assessments. Informal assessments include carousel brainstorming, checklists, choral responses, and KWL charts. Examples of formal assessments include commercial assessments, 1-minute fluency, spelling inventories, and standardized assessments. Here you can see the difference between informal and formal pre-instructional assessment. And here we've added more examples. ABC lists, 1-minute fluency, and a web of ideas. There are three main areas of pre-instructional assessments teachers need to be aware of: the biopsychosocial, educational history, and language history. The biopsychosocial area helps teachers understand the student acculturation process, the conditions of their home life, if they get enough sleep, if their medical records are up to date, if they have any previous trauma, such as exposure to war, and where the student is located on the U-curve. The area of educational history of a student helps the teacher determine the academic levels through the use of pre-assessments. The teacher can contact the student's previous school to see past attendance records and academic records. The language history of a student helps a teacher determine the language proficiency. Teachers can determine this through pre-assessments of vocabulary, observing student nonverbals, the ability to answer WH questions, and complex questions. The teacher can use a home language survey to gather this information. Student biography cards can help teachers learn about a student's prior experiences, schooling, and learning. Every student comes to school with a different story, and when teachers understand a student's history, it can help them when it comes to making accommodations. An example of self-assessment is having students complete a reading survey. Self-assessment reading surveys help students understand their own attitudes toward reading and their interests. Teachers can help students fill out these surveys. In order to ensure the validity of assessments, teachers can make accommodations by considering attitudes, language proficiency, giving more time for assessments, less distractions, and using multiple sources to collect data. It is important for teachers to help students make family-school connections. This model helps us understand the relationships between family, school, and the community. One way to incorporate the family into school practices is to conduct home visits. Home visits are a great way for teachers to gain access to a home life of a student and some prior knowledge that they may have. Teachers can conduct home skill surveys and cultural profile sheets with the help of parents as a way to showcase their current skills and knowledge. Participating in home visits can help teachers gain an understanding of parent involvement and build relationships with students and families. To summarize, pre-instructional assessments are important to gain access to student prior knowledge. There are many different ways to implement them and factors to consider when pre-assessing a CLD student.